appropriate to possibly form a committee to work directly with the Penn folks to maybe see if we can find some compromise that would include, so we can get back to at least the original concept of box seats, trackside table seating.
That's what people want. People want to sit at a table like this on both sides of the table, spread out a racing form, watch the race, have a drink, grab a sandwich, whatever the case might be. By necessity, we have had to remove that from our plans, and we think it is just a flaw in the plan going forward.
I agree. I think that's, to not have those amenities in Austintown would be a major disappointment. I would sure like to see if we could sit down and work out a plan, maybe even within the existing footprint, that brings back some of those original amenities, even at the risk of losing some seats. But at the same time, I would sure like to see at least what your vision is for how the facility might be expanded. I think we asked for that last time, at least a back of the napkin drawing to.
Oh, we misunderstood. We understood the request last time was to show 650 seats enclosed in the building, and we can't make that work. We can't make it work from a budget standpoint.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take what you presented us today under advisement, and we will have a commission meeting in the not too distant future to continue discussions.
We look forward to coming back as often as necessary.
Thank you, Steve.
Be sincere, will you?
Do you want me to genuflect?
No, you're not the genuflect. No. Does that meet with the approval of the commission? Mr. Kester, you're about ready to...
Yeah,
you're on the bed here, man.
Come on, Willie.
It meets with my approval. You know, I mean, I think that, you know, I certainly don't matter. It doesn't matter to me, and nor I guess the rest of the commissioners, if, you know, we suffer some slings and arrows. We've been called job killers and dysfunctional, and that goes with the territory here. But I think it's important that when you look at, Chris looked it up for me, how many seats are in the gym? 1,000?
2,000.
Yeah,
It was roughly 2,000.
You know, something, you know, we're talking something that half the size of the gym, the high school gym. And somebody that can go and have a pleasant experience at the racetrack. You know, you go in, you sit down in a climate-controlled environment because it's winter time, and you have a sandwich.
But it's daytime. I can't make people. A basketball game is at night. Okay, I can't make people leave their jobs.
I understand.
And come to the racetrack on a Wednesday afternoon or a Monday afternoon. And we, in the interest of producing as much revenue as possible for the state of Ohio, have targeted a calendar that generates a great deal of export simulcast signal because we pick periods when other tracks are not up and operating.
I just, the customer experience, I would like to be good, that's all.
And we're not investing $500 million in the state of Ohio to turn customers away.
Well, you know what, you're not investing $500 million in Ohio to turn customers away. Maybe horse players, but not VLT players. Okay? You know, we have seen the systematically turning away horse customers with lack of marketing or whatever at Buell Park. We have seen that. You know, I mean, I offended Mr. McKinney, and I'm sorry when I call it the dregs of racing, but it is. And the backside's an embarrassment. And, you know, let's be honest. It's all about VLTs, and it's not about horse racing. But we're a horse racing group. That's what we do.
It is two comments to that. It is a function of the times in terms of alternative entertainment options that exist for people that have time and income to go and enjoy this form of entertainment. And secondly, it's the VLT revenues that are going to supplement purses.
Sure.
So
Certainly.
driving the VLTs drives racing. There is a connection here. We operate 4 facilities around the country that we've had firsthand experience at that connection. And we recognize that maximizing the VLT revenue maximizes the racing opportunities. We don't enjoy being in an overpayment situation where we're out $700,000 supporting purses at Beulah because the pari-mutuel wagering is not great enough to support it. We want to maximize the revenues that support this industry. We want to maximize the facilities in light of the current economic realities. Building a high school gym for a Wednesday afternoon event, they're just not comparable.
Any other?
Can we get an update on the barn and stall space as well? Steve, I know your original plan was, we're talking about 500, space for 500 stalls or so. And,
yes, we are struggling with every component of each of these projects to reduce cost. So we have gone from 500 stalls. We're looking now with Mr. Basler and the OHBPA at 900 stalls in barn configurations that are larger. As he said in his earlier comments, 76 stalls versus the 48 stalls in our original plan. We are looking at, as I said in my earlier comments, at dorm space for the grooms, together with some amenities, common areas, a rec room, and a track site, a track kitchen. So we are continuing those discussions. I think that both parties are being reasonable. I think both parties are looking at the goal here, which is to get these projects built within the constraints of the returns that we need to satisfy for our shareholders and therefore the budgets that we have for these projects.
there was some talk that your contractor gave you a number that you were maxed out at 500 stalls based on your budget, but there were hints that by shopping around and getting some additional bids, working with local contractors, you could get more barn and stall space for similar dollars. Is that
Yes,
correct?
we continue those discussions with Mr. Bassler and the officers of the OHBPA because they
Is that real, that those numbers are out there? Are there contractors who,
well,
they're preparing bids, or?
it is, but it's also real that when our construction consultant heard that these numbers could be lower, that they went back and sharpened their pencils as well.
Oh, did they really?
Yes, this is an iterative process among all components of this project to get it back to that $250 million budget for this particular Mahoning Valley project that you're asking about.
Well, Steve, if I could suggest, you might want to go back out and do some more bidding. Talk to some of those great local contractors in the Mahoning Valley that can maybe do more for less. I mean, we saw it in the barns and the stalls. Maybe you guys aren't as sharp as you thought you were. You know, talk to our local contractors. There's a lot of help available to build these facilities.
We are facing two challenges. One is a challenge of a facility that you all will approve. So we don't know what the facility is yet because we're working with you on that. And the second is time, because we do think the sooner we can move from operating racing at Beulah to operating racing at a new Mahoning Valley facility, even if on opening day it doesn't have as many seats as we all would like, but there is a room to accommodate expansion in the future, we think timing is equally critical. Right now, we've just been forced to stop. And the viability of both of these projects is in question.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to comment